Hello, everybody, and welcome. We'll just give everyone a minute to connect to their audio, and then we're going to get started. Hey, everybody, and welcome. Thank you so much for coming along to join us for our How to Save Money with Cookidoo class tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Chelsea McGill. I'm a Thermomix consultant and also team leader. I am team leader of Therminators, and we are a team that is based in Southeast Melbourne, kind of on the border of Gippsland, but we do have quite a lot of consultants from all different areas, which is fabulous. So thank you so much for coming along to spend your Monday night with us. We have been focusing a lot this month on how you can save money with a Thermomix. We've showed you how to save money in different meals, lots of tips and tricks. And tonight we really want to focus on how you can use Cookidoo to its full potential, which in turn is going to help to save you quite a lot of money. So I would love to know if you could pop it in the chat box below and help me get to know you guys. Do you have a Thermomix? If you do, which model do you have? Pop it in the chat box. And I would love to know, are you using Cookidoo? And if you are, do you think you're using it to its full potential? Pop it in the chat and let us know. Sorry, Kirst, I did not mean to do that. I was just trying to make you co-host. I spotlight you're eating food. Sorry.
Eating my dinner and she spotlights me.
Sorry. While you guys are popping that in the chat box for me, I'll tell you a bit about myself. So as I said, Chelsea McGill, Thermomix consultant and team leader. I have been a Thermomix consultant for just over 3 years now and a team leader for coming up to 3 years. I have actually owned a Thermomix for about 9 years. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Good night. Sorry. Very excited child at bedtime. So I've actually owned a Thermomix for about 9 years. So I did own a TM31 back in the day. And I did then own a TM5, and now, of course, I own a TM6. It's really interesting because as a TM31 and a TM5 owner, we didn't have Cookidoo. Cookidoo came out a couple of years after I got my TM5, and it's interesting because I thought I really used my Thermomix a lot, but it wasn't until I got the 6 and I got Cookidoo and was using it to its full potential that I really started to use my Thermomix a lot. Cookidoo has come a long way in the last few years. When it first came out, it was only, a couple of hundred recipes on there. It was really, really hard to search other countries as well. So you were really limited to what we had in Australia. And I'll teach you how to search countries if you're not already doing that. But it just has come so far. To give you an idea of how much Cookidoo has grown in the last few years, when I started as a consultant in 2019, we had 42,000 recipes from all around the world. We have just cracked 81,000. So it has doubled in about 3 years, which is just incredible. So we will see those numbers growing and growing constantly as everywhere develops more and more recipes, which is really great. I'm loving all these comments coming through. Thank you, guys. Now, I will just ask that you stay on mute for me, just because when you come off mute, it causes quite a bit of background noise and it makes it a little bit tricky to hear. But I would love you guys to interact with me as much as possible. So use this chat box below and I will answer your questions, or some of the girls in our team are on as well, and they'll help me answer some of the questions if I do miss them. So please ask as many questions as you like. The more questions you ask, the more you're going to get out of tonight's class. And I really want to make sure that it is something that you enjoy and you really get the most out of. Fabulous. Keep those introductions coming in that chat box below. And we're going to jump straight into it. And I'm going to share my screen. So we'll do a little bit of like the rundown of just basic Cookidoo, and then we'll move into our favorite tips and tricks that are going to result in cost saving as well. So Cookidoo is a platform that we can access on the screen of our TM6, the cook key of our TM5, the website, or the app on your phone as well. Now you can use the one login, and that's going to let you access all your devices using the one platform, access the one platform from all your different devices. So they will all talk to each other. So you can upload recipes from your phone straight over to your screen from the website, vice versa. So Cookidoo, you'll notice, looks the same on the screen of the TM6, and it does as it does on the website and the app. It does look a little different on the key, on the cook key with the TM5 as well. So hello, Chelsea McGill, what would you like to cook today? And here we have our search bar. So this is where you can search for anything you like. So you feel like making something, you're looking for new recipes, whatever it is, you've got your search bar here. Here we have our latest recipes. Now our latest recipes is whatever's being updated, which is really cool. So you'll always notice this changing depending on what we've just released. So our last collection that was released was the newsletter. So for those of you that own a Thermomix, you would get the newsletter every month, and there is always a different recipe in there. So they added them in for your guided cooking as well. There are videos on Cookidoo. These can be watched on the TM6 screen and also here through your Cookidoo. And then your most cooked. This is one of my favorite parts of Cookidoo, because your most cooked changes every couple of days based on what people all around Australia are making in their Thermomix. So this is constantly changing, and you'll really notice it. It's very seasonal, you know, through Christmas, it's always gingerbread houses and stuff like that. Easter, it's full of hot cross buns. Winter, we change. In lockdown, we saw lots and lots of cocktails. So it's a really good spot to jump to if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration to try something new. So have a browse through all the beautiful things in Cookidoo, because it really is just endless. Now, some of you may have already been doing this, and I hope that most of you are, but I do want to show you my favorite trick that everybody should have set up. So if you haven't got this set up, please write it down or do it as we are speaking. So you want to go into your profile, either on your app or your website. So on your app, it's just a little circle. On your website, it is just over there. Now, here we have our profile. So you can set up a little bit about you. You can tell it what kind of cook you are. Now, I find personally, I'm probably all 4 of these things, but it depends on the day of the week. But I'm probably mostly the time-saving cook. So that's what I've picked. And now Cookidoo will suggest recipes to me that it thinks I'm going to like based off my time saving. Now, in your filter preferences, we want to update this. So we want to have the blade cover and the blade cover peeler ticked, because if you don't have them ticked, and I've only just worked this out, those recipes won't actually show up. So make sure you've got your accessories ticked there. Leave this blank. Do not select one of these. It doesn't matter what version you have. If you select one, it will limit you to only seeing those recipes. So let's leave that there. But your language is the most important one. So we want your language to be on English, and we want no countries selected. So English language, no countries. And then you want to click save. Now, if you've just updated that, you're going to need to exit your website, or you're going to need to close your app, like swipe up on your iPhone and fully close the app, wait a sec, and then go back into it. And that'll set your filter preferences on that. So if you did have Australia set previously, you may have noticed when you click on the search bar that you would have had about 3,000 recipes showing. Now that we've done just the English language instead of Australia, we actually jump up to nearly 10,000 recipes. So in Australia, we are developing a lot of recipes, and we have just ticked over 3,000, which is brilliant, but we really want to be able to search worldwide English language, because that's going to get us up to that 10,000 mark. Now, if you do speak another language, you are more than welcome to select another language as well to have that saved in there. Or a really good trick for you as well, if you use Google Chrome, it will automatically translate for you. So if you open Cookidoo in Google Chrome and you click on a recipe that's in Italian, for example, and it looks beautiful, it will translate that for you. So you can use it on the screen of your Thermomix and have your translation next to you. And then you can actually still utilize all 80,000 of those recipes. But to give you an idea, 10,000 recipes, 9,941 to be precise. If we tried one new recipe a day, we'd have 27 years worth of recipes. So 10,000 is still a lot of recipes. 80,000 is going to give us well over a lifetime of recipes to try. So now that we've got our filters set, I want to talk to you about some of the ways that we as a team, my team and I, discussed our favorite money-saving Cookidoo. So some of our favorite tips, and we're going to start with our meal planning. So tell me in the chat box, guys, are you guys using the meal planning function? Cooper's mum says she doesn't get a newsletter. You can jump on the Thermomix website and you can just pop your email address in and you will be able to subscribe to the newsletter. They do normally go out to all owners. So maybe you've just ticked unsubscribe somewhere along the way, or this is something, maybe got a new email address or something. But pop in the chat and let me know if you are using the meal planning function. So Cookidoo has a meal planning function and a shopping list function. So we can use our search bar to choose recipes. So we can see some here. Say I feel like a green curry this week. So I can click on green curry and I can go through and I can pick my green curry paste and my green curry dish that I'm going to make this week. So when I click on my green curry, I can click add and I can add it to my week. So I'm going to have that tomorrow. Now you can see here we have ratings. So these are actually rated by you. So when you love a dish, give it 5 stars. If you don't like a dish, give it 1 star and let everybody else know. This one here has 4.7 stars out of 114 ratings. So you know that's going to be a really, really nice dish. I tend not to make anything with 1 or 2 stars, 3 stars. It depends on how I'm feeling that day, but I'll always try to stick to 4 or 5 stars. So now we've added that into our weekly planner. So what do you guys love to eat? Pop in the chat and let me know. What's a favorite dish in your house, whether it's something you're making, something you're buying, something you love to get in a restaurant. A couple of you saying that you're not meal planning at the moment. We've got Nat says that she loves meal planning and a couple of people aren't using it at the moment, which is interesting. So keep those food suggestions coming in the chat for me. And we'll do a little bit of searching. Mexican pasta. All right, let's go Mexican because Kirsty knows the way to my heart and it is through Mexican food. So when I type in Mexican, that's obviously quite a broad search. I haven't been too specific and I've got 181 things resulting to Mexican. So we have some really beautiful Mexican dishes to choose from on Cookidoo. We've got Mexican stack, pasta, cottage pie, stew, and then we've got some tacos, like the list just goes on, shredded beef cheeks. You'll find nachos, black bean dips, you know, Mexican layer dip, anything you could think of. So we really love the Mexican stack and we try to do meat-free Monday in our house. So let's add that to our week. And we're going to add that to Monday. All right, so we had a suggestion of pasta. Everybody loves a good pasta, and I feel like there should always be a pasta on your week planner. Another Mexican lover. We've got some vegetarians, awesome, and Thai food. Great, fabulous suggestions, guys. All right, so when I put pasta in, we've got about 2,500 things resulting to pasta. So we've got things like carbonara. See, this carbonara only has 3.9 stars, but I think that's a solid 5-star recipe, so it's interesting. We've got homemade gnocchi, olive pasta. We've got seafood pastas, chorizo. Honestly, anything that you could think of pretty much is on here, which is one of the things that I love about Cookidoo. Mac and cheese. So let's just scroll up and pick this carbonara because like I said, I do think that that is a great recipe. So I'm going to add this one to my week. And we're going to pop that on Wednesday. Now, we had someone say that they're vegetarian. So there are different ways to search for vegetarian. So I could just put in vegetarian. I'm not spelling that right. Whenever people are watching me type, I always make spelling mistakes. So if I pop in vegetarian, we get about 4,000 things resulting to vegetarian. So it's going to be quite a broad search. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can use your filters, and we are going to dive into filters a bit deeper in a minute, but we can go into main dishes vegetarian. So I can select that. And then I might even want to get rid of that word vegetarian. And we have 646 vegetarian main dishes, which is pretty impressive. So depending on what you are feeling like, we've got a coconut and spinach dal, which looks beautiful, Korean tofu, this vegetarian chili is a big fave in our house. Like the list just goes on and on. So as a veggie or as someone who likes to do meat-free Monday, or if you've seen David Attenborough's documentary, you'd know that he suggests 2 meat-free days a week to help save the planet, then this is a really great way to do that. Now, eating meat-free is also a great way to reduce the cost of your grocery bill. Meat is one of the most expensive things we will buy. At the moment, lettuce is, but other than that, it is normally meat. So if you could add those 1 to 2 meat-free days into your diet, it's a really great way to reduce the cost of your grocery bill as an ongoing as well. So this vegetarian chili is absolutely beautiful. Top it with some guacamole and some corn chips. So we're going to add that to our week on Thursday. Someone want to hit me with a favorite dessert? I'm going to do a bit of a dessert search. Oh, I did not mean to click on banana bread. So I could use my search bar and I could say dessert, and I'm going to get 2,000 results relating to dessert. So it's going to be quite a broad field there. Now, the other thing that we can do again is utilize those filters and go categories and go desserts and sweets, or baking sweet if you wanted to. And then we have 1,400 things relating to sweets. So that's a really great way to do that as well. Is anybody using the filters at the moment? Pop in the chat and let me know. A filter is something that you are using. Oh, lots of sticky dates coming in. Sticky date, sticky date, sticky date. We're going to have to go sticky date because I can't say no to the chat box. So if I put in sticky date, I've still got my dessert filter. I can remove that one. And we've got a few different sticky dates here. So we've got our traditional sticky date, our gluten-free, and then we've got some sticky toffee puddings, which are steamed in the Varoma, which are really cool as well. So this one's here is my favorite. And this one has 4.9 stars out of 794 ratings. So guys, you know that is going to be a fabulous recipe. So let's add that to our week as well. So now that we've got a few people are using filters, which is awesome. Amazing. I love hearing that. So now we go into our weekly planner, and you can see here we have our weekly planner. Now tonight we had quiche Lorraine for dinner. I did make Mac style sauce, and then we have our dishes that we are doing here. So our Mexican stack, I'm going to add to shopping list. Our Thai green curry, add to shopping list. Our carbonara, add to shopping list. Veg chili, add to shopping list, and our sticky date pudding I clicked on instead of shopping list. I'm going to go to there. So we have added those to our shopping list, and when I go back to my week, you can see here are our dishes there. So when I click show ingredients, it actually collates down a shopping list for us. So for those of you that aren't using a meal planner, are you using a shopping list? Do you make your own shopping list after you pick your Cookidoo recipes, or are you someone who just kind of goes to the supermarket and browses and kind of grabs what they think they're going to need? Oh, Francis, you're going to have to send me your sticky date pudding recipe. I'm intrigued now. Francis said, I use my own sticky date recipe, which is better using the Thermomix. I love that. So let me know if you are someone who uses a shopping list, or if you do, just head off to the shops and kind of guess what you need. So you want to go through your shopping list and you want to mark off what you've already got. This is really important when it comes to cost saving and food wastage as well, because we don't want to be buying things we've already got. So I like to use the, kind of the word shop your pantry. So go through your pantry and mark off the things you've already got. So I know I've got bicarb in my pantry, so I don't need to buy that. I also know I've got brown sugar. I might need dates. I've got raw sugar, and I've got white sugar. I've always got a bottle of lime juice in my fridge, so I can mark that off. Obviously, we don't need to buy water. Say I'm going to need these things. I've got oil. And then my canned stuff I'm going to need to buy. Then things like pepper, cinnamon, coriander. I know I've got all of those beautiful spices, so I can mark those off. So I'm just leaving on those things that I need to buy, and I'm taking off the things that I already have. So really great way, again, to reduce your spend and to reduce your food waste is by ensuring that you are checking what you already have in the pantry. So let's say we're going to need to buy all of this stuff, and the rest we already have. So then we can share it, we can print it, we can email it, or we can grab our phone and open the app on your phone, and that shopping list will be automatically in your Cookidoo app on your phone, which means that you can head off to the supermarket, stroll around the shops, and tick off each thing as you get it. You can also add to your shopping list down here. So you could add, milk, you could add bread, you could add apples, whatever it is that you need. So that's on your shopping list, and off you go to the supermarket. Now, is anybody doing online shopping at the moment? I use meal planning and shopping list, just annoying if you lose reception. I use my own shopping list, but I've just tried the Cookidoo list for the first time, printed it and added the extra stuff. Awesome, Rebecca. All right, a couple of people saying that they do online shopping, which is great. So this is one of my favorite things about Cookidoo. Now you can click the order ingredients button over here. And this is actually going to import everything from your shopping list into your Woolies cart. So for those of you that like to do online shopping or that like the idea of online shopping but haven't done it yet, this is the perfect place to do it. So it brings you over to this page, which is Whisk, which is a third party, and it is going to pick your brands for you. Now, I do get asked a lot if it picks the most expensive brands, and it doesn't. You can see here we've got some Woolies brands things. I think it tries to match up the size to the brand in the shop, but you can switch it. So like I don't buy White Wings flour. I do like to buy just the Woolies brand flour. So my internet is very slow. I'm sorry. I hope it's working okay for you guys. I'm just going to switch from that one to this one, and I'm going to get double the flour for the same price. So just go through and make sure you've switched out the brands that you are happy with. Once you're happy with it, like I would buy a jar of tomato paste over sachets because that is going to be more cost effective and also better for the environment. Now, something like shrimp paste. So for me, I'm never going to cook with shrimp paste again. So this is only $2.50. It's not too bad. But sometimes when you look at an ingredient and you think, am I really going to buy a bottle of fish sauce? I need 50 grams. Am I ever going to use fish sauce again? You know, you can, if you find something that's a little bit obscure, fish sauce is probably a bad example because it is in quite a few recipes. But if you find something that is quite obscure and you think, I am never going to use shrimp paste again, grab your phone and Google shrimp paste substitute. Right? And Google is going to tell you what you can sub shrimp paste for. And then you can get rid of the shrimp paste. You know, it might give you something that you already have in the pantry, or it might give you a suggestion of something that you think that's something that I would use again. So if you see a strange ingredient, if you see something that you don't think you're ever going to use again, don't buy it. Leave it out. It's a teaspoon. A teaspoon of shrimp paste probably isn't going to make or break my recipe. So you know what? I might just get rid of that. I might just not buy it. Or I'm going to Google a substitute and I'm going to pick something that I know I'm going to use again. The last thing we want is for you guys to have a pantry full of obscure ingredients that you use once a year for a recipe and then they go out of date and you throw them out. So just think really smart about what you are buying. And if you do want to sub something, it's fine. Yes, Alicia, tamari is just soy sauce. Tamari is the gluten-free version of soy sauce. If you're not gluten-free, just buy soy sauce. It's cheaper. You can buy a bigger bottle. So think really smart about the things that you buy. You know, don't buy every single thing. Fresh herbs is a big one. And we've been talking about this a lot lately. You know, one recipe might ask for 3 different kinds of fresh herbs. You're looking at $12 in fresh herbs. Just buy dried. Cookidoo is guided cooking. It is not set in stone. So you can make changes that are going to save you money. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to change it. It's not going to kill your recipe. So I'm just going to get rid of the shrimp paste. So I'm just going to go 0 because I don't think I'm ever going to use that again. So instead of getting 6 organic eggs, I would get 12 free range. Always free range, never buy cage. My little spiel for the night. So we are going to buy these ones. So go through and make sure you're happy with things. It's given me 3 of the 200 ml cream, which is an interesting choice. So I'm just going to switch that out for 1 600 ml cream. Once you're happy with your substitutes, you can add to your cart. Now, you're going to log in if you've got an account, or you can create an account if you don't already have one. Vic, I bought miso once as well and never used it again, which is probably what started me, started my swapping things. There you go, just Googled shrimp paste and it can be swapped for fish sauce. Amazing. There we go. We already bought fish sauce. Now we can switch it. So it's worked out where my local store is, and late at night, our store is going to be a little bit low on fresh ingredients. So you will notice some of the things it didn't find here. So I would just find an alternative. So it did pick organic zucchini. We might not have any zucchini in stock right now. I didn't spell that right. We all know the produce section is a little bit bare right now. So just find an alternative until you find something else that is similar. There we go. We can switch to a different one. So just make some changes. So instead of buying a punnet of garlic cloves, we could just buy a garlic head. Now, of course, it's not going to find it for me. We can do that afterwards. So I would go through and I would make the changes. So like Nana's Lebanese bread, it doesn't have, so we can just switch to a different one. So just go through and change it out until you find something that they have in your local store. And then you can scroll down, and we're just going to ignore these for now. I would have switched them all out. Normally you do not get that many. When I do this every week, and I would normally get maybe 3 to 4 things that are unavailable. Just depend on the time of night. And also at the moment with our produce situation. Then we just log back in again. And this is going to take us into the Woolies website. And here we have our ingredients. So they're all in our cart ready to go, except for those couple of things that they couldn't find. But there's all those ingredients for those recipes. And then because I do this every week, I go into my lists and I go into my past shops. And then I can pick my last week's shop. And I can add in the things that I buy each week. So I can add in my apples, my bananas, there's that garlic, and, avo, all of those things that I need every week that weren't in my Cookidoo list. I can add them in, and away I go. So I've added my weekly items in. I've got my meals in there as well. And then I can add in, my nappy sand, washing powder, whatever it is that I need to get as well. So then you've done your week's worth of shop in just a few minutes. Utilizing that Cookidoo meal planning function. For those of you that aren't doing the meal planning or the shopping list, do you have any questions about any of the meal planning and the shopping list functions and the ordering to Cookidoo? I'm just trying to clear my cart because I'll go to do my groceries and that will all be in there, and I will end up ordering food I don't need. Pop any questions that you might have in the chat. I'd love to answer them for you. Now, some of the perks of using your meal planning and your shopping list function. So meal planning helps you to reduce waste, to not impulse buy at the shop. So, to not do that shop where you wander around going, oh, I need mince, I need this, I need that. And then, trying to work out what to make with that. Doing your Cookidoo to your Woolies online stops you from impulse buying. When we go to the supermarket, when we're hungry, we buy a ton of stuff. Going to the supermarket with children, they end up buying a ton of stuff. So there are a lot of money saving perks to doing your meal planning and your shopping list as well. Is there a limit for the shopping lists? Sometimes they don't transfer over. I don't think so, Taylor. I do pretty big shops and I've never had a problem with that. So that's an interesting question. If that happens, send me a screenshot so I can see. So then you've done your meal planning, you've done your shopping list, and then you're not going to stand there at the fridge every night and think, what am I going to cook tonight? Good example, the other week I had a very bad hangover and I really wanted to get takeaway, but I was like, no, we've got plenty of food. Our groceries had just come. So I went into my week and there was something on my list for that night that was quite a long dish and I really didn't feel like that. So I went into my week and I just picked a different dish that was much shorter. And we had that and dinner was on the table in 20 minutes. But if you have a night like that where you're hungover or where you're, getting home late from work or kids' sports, whatever it is, and you don't have enough time and you think, oh, we could just get takeaway, go back into your filters and utilize your time filter. So down here we have total time. So if you go total time of less than 30 minutes, it's going to bring up, and then let's go mains. So pasta, meat, fish, soups. We have 468 main dishes that are going to be done in less than 30 minutes. Now that is total time. So that is your prep time, your hands-on time, and your cook time. So, you get home late and you want a really quick dinner. You've got all of these dishes that are done. Like this one's done in 20 minutes, 25. A lot of them will be at that 30. So you want dinner on the table really quickly when you're feeling like takeaway, when you can't be bothered, utilize that time filter because that's going to be a really great thing to do and a really good money saver as well. Some of the other filters that you can be using, you've obviously got all your different categories. You've got your ingredients. So we were just talking about shop your pantry. So you get to the end of the week and your pantry is looking really, really bare, but you don't want to go to the shops yet. Say you've got, beef mince, and it is going to bring up recipes that are going to use beef mince in less than 30 minutes. We'll get rid of that. So there's 86 recipes that are going to use beef mince. that I can pick. So I've got some mince in the fridge that needs using. It's about to go out of date and I don't want to waste it. Or on the other end of the scale, you've got no food left. That's the only thing that's left in there. Search for that food ingredient and pick a dish that's going to use that. So you're not wasting that food and you're not having to go out and buy something different as well. That's a really great one to do with the end of week produce as well. You know, you've got something that is looking a bit sad, like a whole cauliflower that you would probably have to throw in the bin in the next few days. Pop that ingredient in and it's going to bring up those recipes that are going to use that. So that's going to help to reduce your food waste and reduce the cost of your bills as well, which is really great. Can you print a weekly plan? That's a great question. I would say if you just go into My Week, you could just export the page as a PDF and then print it that way and then have it up on your fridge or wherever you want to see it, which is great. I just have one of those little magnet whiteboards with the 7 days on it and I just write each day what we're eating, which is really handy too. So we've got our filters. So we start off with our English filter. We want to do our meal planning and our shopping list, checking your pantry first and making those subs to things that you know you're never going to use again, like shrimp paste. Cookidoo to Woolies is going to reduce your waste and stop your impulse buying. It's also going to save you petrol if you are doing delivery. Delivery is generally about $3, which is cheaper than me driving to my closest supermarket, which is a win. Use your filters. So you've got your time search, you've got your ingredient search. So they're really great ways to be utilizing Cookidoo as well. Another great thing that you can do is when you click on this button here, you'll always be searching recipes, but you can actually switch to collections. So if you switch to collections, you can switch to looking at the cookbooks versus the recipes. Now you will notice that you can't filter cookbooks through language. You do need to filter through country. So we will click the filters button and I'm actually not sure why, but I will pick the English language countries, Australia, Canada. Keep going down, UK and US. So there's 635 different cookbooks from those 4 countries. So cookbooks are a really great way to utilize Cookidoo as well, depending on what it is that you are wanting to make. So let's say if we are on a budget and we want to make some budget meals. So if I just put in budget, I've got 8 different cookbooks that come up that are going to help to reduce the cost of our bills. So we've got budget-friendly Italian, budget-friendly pasta, focus on zucchini, 3 cheers for chicken, cheap eats, and meal prep. So there are a few different meals that are going to relate to that budget, which is a really great way to do it as well. So you can search through your cookbooks for different things. You know, there's like 4 ingredient books. Or it's called like less ingredients or something. Yeah, see, there's a couple of different ones. 5 ingredients are left, a few ingredients, simple ingredients. So these are going to be really great ones to help reduce the cost as well, because you're only going to be using a few ingredients there too. So searching through your collections is a really great way to search through Cookidoo. You know, say you're entertaining. You could search entertaining, and that's going to give you the different recipes that for entertaining as well. So that's a really great way to search through Cookidoo too. All right, get rid of my beef mince filters. Keep those questions coming. If you have any Cookidoo questions at all, pop them in the chat box so we can answer them for you. Now, you guys can make your own collections. So say you could have a collections of things that you want to try or your favorite recipes. You could also pick some of those budget meals for your collections. And then when you are having a week where you do want to reduce your spend at the supermarket, you could just go into your collections. So we can also search through tags. So here is like hashtags. So let's go like budget. So if I go low budget, there's 958 things that are tagged as low budget. So these should all be things that are going to help reduce my spend. So you could pick a couple of these and pop them into a collection called, you know, budget meals. And then on that week that you're really trying to reduce the cost, you could just go into your collections and go into your budget meal collection. So say, you know, I'm going to add this curried parsnip soup. I'm going to add it to a collection and I'm going to create a new collection called budget meals. And then I might add this almond chicken salad because that actually looks delicious to my budget meals. Now I can scroll through and pick out those things that I think look really nice, and I can add to this as I go. So whenever I'm browsing Cookidoo, if I see something that I think falls into that budget meals category, I can add it in. There are some beautiful breads in that in this filter. So, you know, add these things in. Oh, I bookmarked that by mistake. To my collection, get into my budget meals. And then when I go into my recipes, I can find my budget meals, and this is my collection. So then I could create my meal plan going off my budget meals or going off my favorites, my tries, my big families, whatever it is that I've got in my different collections. That's a really great way to utilize Cookidoo as well. Rachel's just asked earlier when you said in filters to select blade cover and peeler. If I have the TM5 and don't have these, I wouldn't tick it. If you don't have a blade cover or peeler, don't tick it. No. In the TM5, you can use a blade cover and the blade cover peeler. So if you did have it, definitely tick it. But if you don't have that accessory, you don't have to tick it. No. So we've just talked about shopping your freezer and your pantry using that ingredient search, your fridge, whatever it is, seeing what you've got left over and making your meal plan, focusing on that. Creating your collections of like your budget meals, your vegetarian, stuff like that. Using that hashtag for different things, vegetarian, budget, meat-free, whatever it is that you want to be doing. And then, of course, searching through collections rather than recipes. Does anybody have any Cookidoo questions? Girls in my team, is there anything that I have missed that we discussed? Any of your favorite Cookidoo tips that I didn't say? For me personally, the meal planning, the shopping list is just my most favorite thing. And I do truly believe that it saves me so much money by doing that. Because like I said, you know, I'm not impulse buying. I'm really sticking to my lists. And it is ensuring that I am just buying what I need and we are using those things. So most weeks I'll pick 5 to 6 meals. I'll always kind of leave one night for leftovers, or, you know, if we do want to get takeaway, if we do end up going out or something. So, you know, if you are worried about, you know, being locked into eating certain things every week, start off by just picking a couple of days, you know, start with 3 days, 5 days, whatever it is. Set yourself a goal to how many times you want to be doing it. And then start doing that and start utilizing that shopping list and the meal plan and the shopping list, because I promise you, not only does it save you time, but also money, and for your health, all those different things is just brilliant. Lisa just said that she loves searching for recipes by ingredients I have left in the fridge, and I couldn't agree more. You know, it is such a great thing to do. I did have some rump steak that we didn't end up using last week. We had an impromptu dinner out at my in-laws, and when I was doing my list, I popped in rump steak and I picked fajitas because that came up. So I'm like, great, that's a perfect way to use that piece of rump without it going off, which is great. Rachel's excited to try the meal plan and shopping list. If you don't have any more questions, let me know what you thought of our session tonight. Did you learn something that you didn't know before? Or do you have a favorite tip? What's the first thing that you're going to try? Pop it in the chat and let us know. We love hearing what you guys think. But I think I have covered pretty much everything that I wanted to say. I hope that you guys have learned something new at our Cookidoo session tonight. If you do have any last questions, pop them in the chat and please keep that feedback coming through. Thank you so much to everybody who came along tonight. If you don't yet have a TM6 and you are interested in getting one, hosting your own cooking experience, finding out more, please reach out to whoever invited you along, to your consultant, to myself or my team. We would love to help you out. And we have our 36 months running at the moment, so you can get a TM6 on your bench for just $16 at the moment. That's running for a couple more weeks. And we have our glider board host reward, which ends on the 30th. So if you are wanting to get a free or $50 glider board, please reach out. We would love to help you. Laurie missed the start of the session. Of course, I did record it. It will be on our YouTube channel later tonight. If you don't have the link to our YouTube channel, please reach out to whoever invited you along tonight and they can let you know where to find that. It is in all of our Instagram link trees. Oh, there we go. Nat's on it. Link to our YouTube. There is our YouTube. Please subscribe. We add all our new classes onto that. And we'll be back in the next couple of weeks with another class. Thank you again to everybody for coming along tonight. And thank you to my wonderful team for inviting you all to join us. And I am out and I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys.